room audio. It's going to be with this.
Mark's the bathroom. You're gonna get there.
Plugged in, right? It's just where's the color? Yeah, there. See, I look at it. You have to be pliant.
What have you going for this? No, I don't remember. Oh. And then so I have a second definitely just my I want told
Yeah, oh, there's no problem.
So it is a new lane. Right. Yes. Oh,
I don't even live back the months right there. We're good? Right.
right. We lower the lights here. You're going to your light. How many? Yeah, I'm excited about it. You don't have to lose anybody. Okay. And you don't have to.
Got it.
You go. I don't know. This is our 27th or 25th. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our 16th annual Curveball to celebrate saving time. And before we do saving, I'd like to introduce you to our host tonight, one of the most famous voices in American TV and radio, and one of the most compassionate people I know, Mark Thomason.
Competition about who's most compassionate in this room, man. This is a great room to be in always. There is so much compassion in this room, honestly. I look forward to this every year. I get my hair freshly dark for whatever the sensitive what I missed it last year, and they honored you guys honored the person who first got me involved with this great organization, and that's Dr. Jennifer Conrad. And yeah. And I'll take a moment to plug. You can see in the program her new movie, American Cats, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's really terrific. I saw it. And it's going to be at a theater soon. There's going to be a big opening, and watch the space at AmericanCatsMovie.com has the trailer and everything. And I think, just to put a button on it, Jenny has the power of one person to make such a big difference in the community of cats and animals generally. But what she saw, the horror of decline, she actually turned to make a difference in fighting. And many of you in this room helped. And so it's so terrific to see now yet another movie. The first movie, The Paul Project, is powerful. This movie is funny and powerful, and I recommend it. So it's called American Cats, and it's coming to a theater near you. I am told that you bid on every item except the Book of Mormons in this. I'm hoping for a big night at that Broadway. But I was quite impressed with the range of things that are offered. So please bid generously. I couldn't find out I have left of it. And I saw an automated litter thing there. Now, how many in this room by applause have tried the automated litter stuff? So we have 4 cats, and that in most rooms that sounds like a lot. In most conversations that I have, people go 4 cats. Oh my God! But in this room, I feel like that's just not even. I'm not even a player yet. But because of that, I've tried many different kinds of motorized litter stuff, and to varying effects. So the one out there I haven't tried yet. And I'm thinking maybe it's time for me to wade back into the machine operated litter thing. But what's that? Is that right? Okay. Will you come over and demo it for me? Or you don't work for the company, do you, ma'am? All right. Now I do this because I think it's always instructional. Buy up with us. How many people have at least one cat in their? How many people have at least 2 cats? And how many 3 cats? Yeah. How many? There's 4 cats in that. All right, now we're starting to lose people a little bit. It's nice to know my 4 cats are all of a sudden pretty respectable. How about 5 cats in the house? Wow. This gets to be more of a high wire act. 6 cats in the house. You use the automated litter thing with 6 cats in the house? Is that what you're telling me? Oh, you have 2 of them. 7 cats in the house. Wow. God, I could learn so much from you people set up cats. I'm stopping at this next number because I don't want to know after that. There's a border at the next number. How many with 8 cats or more in the house? Man. What's that? Am I counting? Yeah, I'll count clusters, of course. Wow. Man, would you like to come up here and co-host this with me? I feel we've got a bit of energy going on. Well, it's terrific to be with my cat people. I adore you. I've had these 4 cats for ages, and the guy who is I think he's 16 years old now, my Charlie, I keep thinking he's going to, not make it to the next day, and he's there. And you never know how he does it. And I'm always worried about doing him right. You always worry about doing the cats and any animals in your care, doing that right. I want everything to be right by them. And yet we never know. But I love this event for bringing me to people who have some of the same anxieties and concerns and cares about the feline community. So the kitten rescue history, I think most people know it, but I'd like to just quickly run it down because It's remarkable history going back all the way to 1997 through May, getting involved with kittens at city shelters that were 8 weeks old and were going to be euthanized. Most certainly, she created this foster network to focus on rescuing these kids in the age range, essentially the shelter from euthanasia. So through the years, Kitten Rescue has grown these programs, grown their focus to save needy cats and kittens from city shelters and get them off the streets when possible. And the unweaned kittens, senior special needs cats, those of you who've been to Kitten Rescue know the special needs crew is a remarkable, meaning you're unaware, at least I was unaware of all the extraordinary circumstances that can befall a cat and not in the parents at rescue do such a great job. So they were purchased in '06, home to 150 cats and kittens. 1,700 cats and kittens live in private homes with the devoted community of foster parents. This year, 1,900 cats and kittens. It's an extraordinary number. So I encourage you to support tonight and to enjoy tonight. Now, we have a comedian with us who will just help kind of limber up this cream. I'm like the pre-limber guy. There's an actual limber professional coming up. So please join me in welcoming Evan J. Harrison. Evan J. Harrison is a writer and comedian coming from the Carolinas. Based now in LA. She's performed all over LA at venues like the Glendale Room, West Side Comedy Theater. She's performed at festivals around the country, including the Queens of Comedy and Detroit Comedy Festivals, and recently performed on Keenan Presents, the VIP Acts Showcase. How about it for Evan J. Harris?
Everybody, cat. Thank you guys so much for having me here. I'm stoked to be speaking at podium. I feel very official. Let me just say, never too early to get a drink at the bar. Okay. Never too early, and feel free to take a bathroom break. No, you guys, I'm excited to be here. I will say the vetting process I thought pretty cool. You know, they wanted a background check just for me to get in the door. A background check, a credit score. I'm not gonna say thank you so much. Background check. Thank you. Yes, 820 my friends are very loud. 820 I do comedy. Okay, my credit score is 820. That is the truth. Thank you. No. Okay, a weird request was that they asked me to give 3 references. Obviously, my employer, my parents, my best friend of a decade who stopped talking to me one day out of nowhere. I didn't like that. I was happily giving you guys a blood sample just to be here. But I'm supposed to be sworn, you know what I mean? Humble still to me. Don't ask me for people to speak about me kindly. No, they do. Sometimes, no, I'm glad to be here. I can tell we all passed the screening, so I'm sure you guys will have recommended by your friends as well. I think that we're all at the highest caliber. Should I say category? I'm the only person to try to say I hate them. I won't give up. Thank you. Caliber doesn't belong to them like I wanted it to. Okay. No, silly. Okay. They asked me, like, and do you want to do some comedy for cats? I was like, yes, I do. I have a lot of promos. I have a lot of ideas. They said, no, stop. I said, no, I have ideas. They said, no, girl, we're fine. I said, no, please. Let's have to shoot some promos, some infomercials, anything for cats. And they said, no, Evan, stop. And even when they said, Evan, no, 3 times, I said, tonight I will do them. So bear with me. Thank you so much. These are the pictures I made. These are the pictures I made. Do you want to be loved while doing the bare minimum? The absolute least? I mean, so little mathematicians would qualify it as basically 0. Get a cat. Or me. What I'm saying is I'm easy to love, I'm low maintenance, I am single. Okay, that's weird. I only mentioned it because my mom says I'm not trying hard enough. 500 people here, no takers. We are 820 credit score. Okay. Thank you. No, okay, all right. Silly. Okay. Do you hate donating to campaigns but want to be politically engaged? Get a cat and be one of the proud members of the Childless Lady Cat Feline around. Okay. Cat was brown. Silly. I did so much research for this, it ruined my algorithm, but I learned it ruined my algorithm. Listen, I don't mean to say ruined, I don't even offend you guys, but it was mostly Broadway before, and now it's just actual cats. Okay. I did learn that in Alaska for 20 years, they had a cat that was the mate in 1997. Right? Isn't that insane? I'm sure some of us knew that. Okay, but it is. So that's gonna start feeling up confidence. You know what I mean? She's like, I could do that. And she couldn't. That's crazy. Even cats know where Russia is. Even cats know where Russia is. Okay, silly. That's crazy to learn. 1990. I love Karen Bass, but I'm like, could we do a cat? No. Okay. Just like it's so whimsy. Okay. I don't have a problem with any of their policies. I'm sorry, that's the second pun. I hated it. I hated it. I will say I'm not a cat owner. I'm allergic. Sorry, yes. I know. I know. Well, I did listen now. I did learn that a surprising amount of cat owners are allergic. Yes, I learned this. That's wild. You know, they're just willing to live with someone that could kill them. Much like most marriages. No. I will say that at least your partner won't eat your decomposing body. Most of them. This guy knows what I'm talking about. No, okay. Cats are fun. Okay, I was really stoked to do like cats, and I was like, we're going to love cats. Yeah, I know famous cats. Okay, I want to talk about Hello Kitty so badly. Clap if you're a Hello Kitty fan. You part of her? Yeah, famous 1974 Hello Kitty. Okay, here's what I learned recently. I'm sorry. Hello Kitty. So clearly a cat. Am I right? It's like Kitty. Hello. That's a no. Sanrio Lore will tell you Hello Kitty's a little girl dressed as a cat. I hate that fact. People knew it already. No, I think this is outrageous. So I went down a rabbit hole, if you will, for other cat lore. Turns out Garfield actually likes Mondays. Yeah, big fan. He works from home. It's just another day for me, okay? I'm working from home. All right, and also he's not doing lasagna. Okay, after the pandemic, he got into CrossFit. Okay, he's not doing carbs anymore. I'm sorry to tell you guys. Don't have been keeping up. Okay, he's cat big. I'm sorry. Okay, that didn't work either at times. I'm trying so hard. No, silly. Okay, I will say that hang in there, Kitty. You know what I'm talking about. Grossly misquoted. I was doing the research. Okay, sources at the time saying that cat was actually saying, "I'll do it. I'll let go." But big poster at the time thought it wasn't motivating enough. You know what I mean? Gave too much power to the employees, so they changed it. I did learn that the most famous cat holds a Guinness World Record with 4.5 million followers. Yeah, I know. Also, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna do this whole joke in a second. Okay, my name is Evan J. Harris. I'm trying to be famous. Feel free to follow if you liked it. Okay. The most famous cat has 4.5 million followers. Her name is Nala. She's a rescue dog. Famous cat. Proving once and for all, it does matter who your parents are. Oh, silly. I do love that. I will say I am excited to see who comes and takes up the space for Grumpy Cat. Okay, Grumpy Cat, so Faye's not grumpy, he just bad at micro expressions. Okay, that was a cat doing complicated math equations in their head. No, this is going so well, I can't believe. Right? What? If you only time I'm going to say it. Okay, all right. I also don't want a dog. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I like ownership. Okay, that's for older people. That's for people before me. I don't need to offend everyone in this room. Just turn on me. Clap it up if you own two cats. Oh my god. No, I'm gonna leave it there. That's surprising. Okay, thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Evan, for the tough cat crowd tonight. Yeah. She made me think about, I mentioned Charlie, who's like 16 years old. And he doesn't leave a single room house now. It's like where he lives, kind of, and it's a bummer because he used to be everywhere, a super active cat. I think as they become physically compromised, they're a little scared, and they're scared the rest of the house are having cats. So I'm all worried about Sean. This is sort of what I do all the time. It was just that made me think. I was just talking about the concern we have and about cats. And I'm going to Charlie. I'm so delighted that he's still alive and B, active in any way. It's visible, and he treats me with that cry, like, "Where the f have you been, mother effer?" Like, I don't know, Charlie. It's so great to see you. He's like, "Yeah, f you, dude. Where are my treats?" He is, but this is the problem we have, I think. She just made me think of it. We love these creatures, and sometimes I just wish I knew what they were thinking, or that they were able to understand how much that we do indeed love them. And so, I love that we're honoring people tonight who are significant in bringing that love to the culture and society in a big way. So, how about it for the former KI president, Ben Lara, who is here, also the current executive, and the person you introduced me so beautifully, Senator Harris. This is the cheerleader.
Hi, thank you everybody for coming. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the recipient of our Legacy Volunteer Award. So many of you may know that in 2005, when Kitten Rescue was 8 years old, we acquired a shelter facility. So we're a foster-based organization to provide assistance. But then in 2005, an opportunity came to take over a shelter from another rescue group. So we acquired the property and about 60 or 70 cats. Now, in a big property. So 60, 70 cats, like that's counting your average foster home. So we were able to get that number way up pretty quickly. And but with the facility also, there were a number of volunteers who helped out in the rescue group that was there before. And many of them stayed on and continued volunteering. But what we saw is over time, they kind of dwindled and moved away and did their own thing and just kind of stopped coming. Except for one. Two. But really except for one. Who actually started coming more and more and more to the point where it's basically her house there. And just to kind of give you an idea of the impact that she has on the animals that have been in her care all these years, and the people who work with her, Sandra can tell you some of the amazing things that she does.
So Nellie is the date. Since Nellie retired in 2020 from her regular gig, Nellie has come to the sanctuary for around 5 hours every day. She does everything from caretaking to just kissing and hugging on all the cats, to feeding the pups, these disabled cats that need feeding 3 times a day. She's there for emergency vet visits. If we need a cat taken to the vet, if the cat needs to come from the shelter to the sanctuary, Nellie is always there for the cats and for the people at the sanctuary. Nellie also runs our Sunday clinic. Well, I guess Ben's runs the clinic, but they co-run the clinic. And now Nellie's the face of the front that greets everybody and all our foster parents and their kittens. So Ben.
The Kitten Rescue is fortunate to be in a position where we have full-time staff working, but the lifeblood of the organization and the only way we're able to rescue close to 2,000 cats a year, is from our volunteers. And I really cannot think of anything that exemplifies the volunteer ethos any more than the recipient of our Volunteer Legacy Award. So Nellie, it is with great pleasure that Sandra and I honor you for watching this amazing video. Because I would never believe that you. Thank you.
My name is Deborah Stickett, and I have been volunteering with Skilled Rescue since 2000. I love doing it because I love cats. This is Harper. She's our animal survivor. I grew up in Latvia. We had one cat. Then we moved to LA and we got two cats. Now I live with three cats. Raquel came from here. The other kitties are twins and they were dropped off in a box at another rescue. I started volunteering with Kitten Rescue because I was a volunteer with Casinos for Pet Hotel for Cats. And when Kitten Rescue took over the property, they inherited me. Right now, I volunteer mostly in the nursery, cleaning, cat care, doing laundry, and sweeping floors. I also do some transporting kitties to the vets. Alright. We have four severely disabled CH kitties in the nursery with all the power puffs. And they require a lot of care, and I feed them several times a week. So they require special feeding. I have to hold them while they eat, and then I clean them afterwards after they eat. I have to also other things is in repop. Iris is our hungry puff. She loves to eat. Bubbles is our playful puff. And Blossom is a messy puff. When she eats pumpkin lunch as a whole. Every Sunday I volunteer at the clinic and I have met people. They're here to receive vaccines, testing, deworming, flea nets, and monkey chips. I volunteer 7 days a week and maybe 5 hours a day. I love doing it. I don't think of it as a job. I think of it as a vacation. The cats, I love these people who love cats. It's just, it's great. It's what I like to do. His name is Thomas. He's one of the presidents. He was four presidents, and now we'll have two left in the program. This is Nathan, my boyfriend. I was a kid rescue because of his organization, and they help cats and I love cats. So now it's to say, and Nellie, I have an award for you. Cynthia Larson has it. And I can't find Cynthia. Cynthia, are you ready? Come on up, Nellie. I would like to thank all those who make our sanctuary such an amazing place that love so much. To all our caretakers for not only being hardworking and skillful, but also caring, loving, and nurturing. Our managers, Kelly and Lindsay, who run the place, put out daily fires with great finesse. keep our residents healthy, and help find them forever homes. And Kelly for her friendship that, by the way, started at the sanctuary more than 20 years ago. Jennifer Markham for her quiet presence and always being so sweet and helpful. To Sandra for her endless supply of wonderful cats. And for incredible energy and commitment with which she tries to help every single homeless cat in LA. My fellow regular volunteers, our photographer Lori, Frankie, Veronica, who comes several times a week to help with cleaning and laundry, especially Laura, who also brings us costume goodies as well. And also I want to thank Kat, who comes every Saturday, has been coming for many years, and who made it here today to help celebrate my award by taking a bus. To my BFF, Jen Hay, with whom we used to do weekly evening shifts 20 years ago, and who's still becoming several times a week since then to clean, do laundry, and make sure everyone has plenty of toys. My other buddy, Kelly Sheridan, our Applebee's sweet angel, who has been volunteering for also for many years and has a soft spot for our parents. My fellow Sunday Clint volunteers, Darlene Rishi, for making check-in and check-out smooth and fun. I also want to extend special thanks to Ben for his dedication to helping cats and for having answers to all my cat questions, sometimes in Russian, for his unmatched sense of humor and for always making me laugh. And of course to Remain for funding Kid Rescue, for helping me achieve my philanthropic goals and making it super easy and stress-free. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for the work. I love you all.
Another Kitten. All right. You just said that. No, you look so different than you did in the video. You know what I mean? Wow. Really impressive. It's the most kitten rescue thing ever that we didn't have the award. We couldn't find the person who had the award. I just love it. It's the homegrown quality of this great organization, you know. So we are celebrating the work of Kitten Rescue, and I mentioned the homegrown quality and the passion in the room, but ultimately you need money. You need money to fuel this great organization and the great work that they do. And here is a moment to essentially express gratitude to those organizations, those businesses, those people who have helped to animate and elevate this great organization. So our Platinum Paw sponsor, Boswell's Fund. All of these sponsors have made this evening possible. Our Gold Paw sponsors, Rob Klieger, Head Care Foundation, and Stanley Foundation. Thank you, Ben. The Silver Paw sponsors, Found Animals Foundation, Custom Catios, and Black. Bronze Paw sponsors, Premier America, Penthouse Paws, Off the Leash, KBS, and American Cats Paw Project. The commitment to animal welfare and the Kitten Rescue's mission is indeed inspiring. We cannot thank you enough, all of you sponsors, for your contributions, and all of you in this room for your contributions and your generosity. That's will enable Kitten Rescue to rehabilitate, to rescue, and to find loving homes for countless kitties. It's a really special thing. I will also remind you that the silent auction is going on. now in the techie way that you can monitor what you're beating on. And if you're not part of the silent auction, here's how you do it right this instant. You'll text 2024, easy to remember, year we're in, and furball, I'm sorry, 2024. So I'm going to make this far more complicated than it is. But is it easy? And I use the word easy. I knew I was going to, this is going to go south. All right. 76278. Yeah, the number 76278. You'll text to that number 76278. You'll text 2024. Right? If you haven't done it already, do it. You can monitor everything going on. You can see where your bid is. You can make a bid, etc. Now that I've totally screwed that up, any questions you can ask Pam, who's coming to the stage next. She is a board chair, and she will tell you about those who deserve great recognition, who serve on the committee on a regular basis year round. How about Pam Allison?
Thanks, Mark. And you should definitely bid on one of those automatic litter boxes if you have the chance. I will attest that I love. Literally a life changer. So yes, thank you, Mark, for continuing to love the auction. A little something to do with it. So please keep bidding, and I'm going to keep sending you text messages until it closes. But yeah, so obviously, this is an evening of a lot of gratitude. So, a lot of people, work with this organization and do a lot of amazing things. Actually, I'll start with the evening. We have an amazing furball committee that helps all of us come together, not just the auction, obviously. That's most important. But also, everything from, those amazing gift bags at your seat, from gathering all those items, getting together. Apparently, they did this in a hot garage last night. And I'm not even joking. I don't think anyone bust out, but we appreciate the effort. To getting the flowers on the table, to putting the program together. For those of you who are on the football committee, if you could please stand up. Thank you for everything you have done. This organization is, run by what I think are some great leaders. We have a great board. So I'd like to introduce that board to you. We're the ones who are setting the vision and really thinking about how we're going to grow this organization and make it better. And obviously the last 27 years have just been amazing, and we're super excited about the next many years. But let's first let me introduce the board. Yes, I'm going to make you each stand, and I will bring you all out. So starting with Sue Romaine, our founder and vice chair. Zara, our secretary. Not to the social media on the side, because she thinks it's fun. Jeremiah Rennan, our treasurer. Kylie Johnson, one of our directors. Not how he be here tonight because he decided to go on tour with Rob Zombie. So really sure lied. And then of course our organization is led by our, the heart and soul, our executive directors and directors. Sure, she stands up. I'm just going to be like super brief. We're really excited about the future of Kitten Rescue. We have some amazing things to come. The one thing I'll just tease is, our sanctuary that Ben talks about that we purchased, we're looking to do some changes there that I think will really make a very positive, exciting impact to the organization. So I'm just gonna give you a little tease and with, some more information, coming very soon. But I think you'll all be excited about it, and I hope that you'll be a part of it and will continue to be part of our future. I thank you all for coming and really appreciate it. Thank you.
And now a brief video called Answering the Call. Please.
Hello, so stage and screen restarting. This month, we'd like to say a few words about the amazing people at Kitten Rescue here in Adelaide. Without them and their tireless volunteer work, we wouldn't even have you, would we, Kizzy? Takes a lot of volunteers to look after these little cats. Calls come not making time, and time, by the way, is of the essence.
The shelters have the policy that any kitten 6 weeks and under is listed end of day, which means that they will be euthanized at the end of the shelter's business day, which is considered 4 p.m. The shelter is at capacity in addition to the fact that they don't have the man hours at night to take care of those kittens. If a rescue does not come forward, they do perish by the end of the day.
We have an armed alert group with the shelter, so every day they will send an alert to us as the kids come in, which will have a 4 p.m. deadline. So as soon as those alerts come in, the clock starts ticking and we have to work really fast. So we immediately send an email to our group of amazing fosters and wait for someone to respond that they are able to take these kittens, and then we do transport.
Volunteers at Kitten Rescue rush to get kittens, and they feed and they foster kittens.
We just got two big dropped off here that we're gonna be fostering. This guy was pretty rough because I guess he was found in a car. These were kind of a last minute rescue because today was their only day to try to find a foster. They both pretty skinny, look a little dehydrated, so gonna get them cleaned up. My kids are each gonna name one from when I promised them that the next group we got making each names. It is time of year, it seems like every day, but there's kittens that need the last minute fostering, and I'm always amazed by how many kittens I've seen fosters step up for those ones that are really just down to the wire. I'm always surprised doing part of kitten rescue because they was through.
Volunteers transport kittens to and from medical appointments, and don't even get started with bottle fed babies. They take a lot of time-consuming care.
The most vulnerable population in the shelter is actually the babies. These are kittens that are under 3 to 4 weeks who cannot eat on their own, such as this little girl. They have to be fed anywhere between sometimes every hour and or up to every 3 to 4 hours when they're a little older. So they do require a lot of work, but they are immediately put on the end of day list and scheduled for euthanasia on the same day.
We have a dedicated ball group that when these little guys come in and Karina gets the alert, she sends the email specifically to the ball beating group, looking for somebody that's willing to, take them, even if just for a couple weeks while we find a more permanent solution.
We always need more fosters. We are constantly trying to grow our foster group so that we can save as many of them as possible.
Then there's the trap, neuter, return. See, Kitten Rescue are trying to stop borderless cats by doing the old trap, then quickly neutering them, then returning them. It's a big job.
Hi, my name is Janice. I'm the community health guardian. Good for the trees, cleaning and shelters in the streets. The best solution to prevent more kittens being euthanized is TNR. Can teach people how to trap, we learn traps, and we can help people with appointments. Kitten rescue, we have a lot of trappers, but we also recruit trappers to do TNR in different parts of LA. We have appointments at Fix Nation, at the Simi Valley Spay Neuter Clinic, and Heaven on Earth. And we try and TNR as many cats as we can so there are less kittens going into the shelters. If there are more people doing TNR, then we can get more cats sterilized.
It takes an enormous amount of people and an enormous amount of work. And we really couldn't do what we do with our volunteers because it takes a village. And as Karina has said before, that village is Kitten Rescue.
So please donate, please, and help Kitten Rescue save more cats like, well, beautiful little Gizmo. And who else do we have here? Holmes. And these guys. They're really just kind of nutcats.
This is another high wire. One of them. Stinky, that's not really. I said, well, I'm kind of stinky too, so it's there's two of us. But this is a bottle baby who was rescued at the end. You want to take her? I feel like she doesn't want to be. Watching that video, I just feel like I could have 40 cats. And they're very good. They're just, I saw the picture of all of those cats. I thought, oh my God, it looks like heaven, all those happy cats. I don't know. But the end of day rescues, a heartbreaking mission. And there are a lot of dedicated rescuers here within the organization. And you saw what they do, the all-night bottle feeding, the orphan kitties that are scooped up and injured kitties taken off the streets. And the TNR, you saw how tough that is. Most everybody in this room is somewhat familiar with a lot of these processes and a lot of these challenges, but still, when you see it all there in the video, it just brings home the mission and how challenging it can be day to day for a kitten rescue. So you guys who do this work and are volunteers are really the everyday heroes, and I'd love for you to stand if you are a volunteer and acknowledge a room registration for your volunteerism. Thank you. Yeah, that's one. Yeah. It's a 24-hour-a-day job, and you also need help, as you are all aware, to get stuff done in an official way. We can get things done in a grassroots way, individually and as a group of individuals come together with Care Rescue. And we talk about the money, and that's one of the reasons we're here is to raise money. You need legislators, you need politicians to actually take up your cause. And it's not a popular cause, it's not a big winner politically, but someone who really has taken up the cause is with us. I'd like to introduce City Councilman spent his political career fighting for the animals of Los Angeles, including legislation to ban declawing in the city of Los Angeles. How about the call for this?
I'm not sure that's totally fair, but I have to follow Mark Thompson and Bottle Fed Kitten. And nobody warned me that there would be so much comedy tonight. unfair disadvantage because I have no sense of humor. So I'll just say, hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here with you tonight at the Fur Bowl. It's a great opportunity to be with so many of my fellow animal lovers and especially cat lovers. And it's even an opportunity for me to wear a cat tie, which doesn't happen very often. As someone who's had a career in city politics, I've tried to make Los Angeles a better place for everyone. And that includes all the animals who call LA their home. I've worked on plenty of legislation over the years to ensure their health and safety. Of course, my favorite was working with Jennifer Conrad and her husband Jim Gensel on banning decline of cats. Which we did in the city of Los Angeles when I tried at the state level wasn't quite so easy, but there are a lot of special interests involved in that, but we'll get there someday. Also, as chair of the Personnel and Animal Welfare Committee, or PAW Committee, in 2012, I introduced legislation being the sale of commercially bred kittens and puppies in the city. I also got passed a compromise which lifted the maximum number of cats you can have in your home from 3 to 5. So all of you that have 6 or more, you're all under arrest. Right? There's a paddy wagon outside, and just line up single file on the way out. Now, these animals don't have a voice of their own, so it's up to people like us to make sure that they have someone looking out for them, both in City Hall and on city streets. And I'm sure a lot of you in this room know this feeling. You're the person other people call when they have an animal rescue question, and not the traditional animal rescue, but an animal emergency. I found a kitten. What do I do? Or how can I help the cats living outside of my office or up a tree or whatever? Sometimes there's situations that maybe even you can't handle that go beyond what most people look through. What happens when an animal is trapped on a rooftop or caught in a pignon line down in the sewer? Who do you turn to for help? Who do you call? Well, in most places, there really isn't an obvious choice. But for here in Los Angeles, there's a unique program called the SMART Team. It's founded by Officer Armando Navarrete, LA Animal Services. And let's take a look at a video showing the incredible work that Nav and his team.
My name is Armando Navarrete. I've been doing this as an animal control officer for the last 27 years for the City of Los Angeles Department of Animal Services. And I started the SMART team back in 2008. It got approved in 2009. And we've been until current date right now, 2024. I've had animals all my life, dogs, cats, ducks, turtles, you name it. We had a zoo around us. So ever since 1997, I've been doing what I consider my dream job. The SMART team was to train officers to do the calls beyond what a regular officer could do. The regular officers are limited in equipment and training and the knowledge of how to rescue animals that are actually in peril, stuck, trapped, wherever, up, down, below, water, anything that wanted to emulate a search and rescue team for humans, but for animals. We rescue large and small, domestic and wild, born or stray. We don't discriminate on any type of animal, and we rescue from baby squirrels to 2,000-pound pregnant cows. It's free for any animal, not just the domestic, but also the wild, to get trapped and stuck into some really peculiar situations where the brain officer cannot safely get into the area to save them. Before I started the department, I was a rock climber with some other people that they met in the department. And that's what kind of sparked the interest in climbing because we would get a lot of kind of tree calls. And believe it or not, the fire department does not do those calls, and it was a service that I felt that we had to provide. So climbing was one of the first things we started doing, and we still do. Almost 80% of our calls are at high elevations. Everybody always says we can't save them all. It's survival of the fittest. But that's never been what I ever want to hear from anybody on my team, because we have to try. We have to all try no matter what. The notorious for getting stuck in between walls of buildings. They'll wander off in the fall in between the 2x4s of the buildings. So when we get to the call, we hear crying, but sounds are very deceiving. It sounds like it's here, but it's actually over there. And we make a whole sort of small camera to see if that's what we're looking for. Once we do, then we are able to make the hole. We'll go from the top and what we call fishing them out. Those cats, I think, when we were able to fish out with the pole from the top, it was too deep in, so we had to then make a little bottom and we pull them out. We're in charge of now getting them to the rescue, the kid rescue, so they can posture and take care of them for us. We had a call earlier this year for a cat who ended up in this abandoned building. There was at least 14 stories. We gained access to the abandoned to a hallway, and the floor was missing slabs of cement, and now trying to get it into a confined area. We met it. Luckily, that building was all the walls were intact in the floor, so we were able to net the animal and get the cat out safe. That's not the one that was getting rescued. We received a call for a cat on a slanted rooftop for a ledge, and of course, the picture didn't do it justice. So we thought it's 2 stories up, 20 feet. The jump wouldn't kill the animal. We could get her, so we had to develop a way to get up there safely, and either use ropes and ladder or all get up to get to where we needed to. When we got to the calls, this cat was first on beyond 45-degree incline, and the fall wasn't 20 feet, it was almost 40 feet. So we had to work quickly and efficient and safely because we couldn't even get on that fall. We had to put a ladder on, we had to put someone over the railing on a harness secured, and then we had to put someone down below. So if the animal came tumbling down, we had to be with a net trying to get him. When we got to the cat, of course, he's terrified. We had to then use a long catch pole to reach him at the end, grab him out of the body, and then maneuver this long net with a 10-pound animal so that we can then carry him down, stick him in medical treatment. We always say there's 3 or 4 parts to every rescue. One is getting there on time before the animal expires. 2 is being able to assess it and say, can we do this? And to this day, we've never walked away from something and said we can't. And the other part is, okay, once we rescue it, if it doesn't have owner, where does it go? The shelter system is completely overcrowded with animals. So we rely on rescue organizations like Kitten Rescue to plead our case with them and tell them this would happen. It's a sad story, but we were able to make it a good story. How can we make this a really good happy ending for this animal's life? And that's what Kitten Rescue comes in, because every time I or someone I put in charge of calling, they've always taken the immediately, so that it's out of the shelter system and it's getting care, and it's probably being fostered almost immediately. I make it kind of a good rescue story all around from beginning to end. Wow, that was pretty amazing. Tonight, Kitten Rescue is proud to present Officer Armando Navarrete with the Angel Award for his relentless, courageous, and inspiring determination to save animals' lives, and for his unwavering dedication to always answering the call. And there's nobody I've ever met more. So let's give it up for Armando. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Kitten Rescue.
At this time, I'd like to bring some people on stage, if you don't mind. I'll make this short. Can I have Jackie, Amy, Veronica, and Officer Louis Luna join me here? Okay. Believe it or not, cats and kittens take up 90% of our rescues, and it's been that since 1997 when I first joined this department. Every rescue has several parts to make it successful. My part is to assess it as on the video, execute, and safely get the animal out of peril. But that's not the toughest part sometimes. The toughest part, if it's not owned or it's wildlife, we have to find a home or foster. These amazing people here with me, I begged, pleaded, and rarely taken up any of lunch to do the job of calling all of you to help get these animals a home or foster so we have a successful ending to our rescue. These people, along with organizations like Kitten Rescue, are the true heroes. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So I'd like to acknowledge them and thank them. They're more than soldiers and my friends. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Serious man crush, Con. You really bring it, brother. So I have a story that really speaks volumes about kitten rescue, and it starts in the spring of 2007. Kitten Rescue got a panic call about a tiny injured kitten who was found in a gutter. She'd been hit by a car and then given baby Tylenol by a well-intentioned someone who didn't realize that Tylenol, of course, is toxic for cats. There wasn't a lot of hope, but the kitten was named Hope by Kitten Rescue, and they began giving her every bit of help that they could at that time. They were a very young organization, which becomes important second. But she was rushed to an emergency vet hospital, and they determined that she would need not only extensive surgery to save the shattered leg, but also intensive care to flush the toxins from her system. So Kitten Rescue, again, at that time, not a lot of money. And Hope's vet bills were going to be a challenge. So they reached out to supporters for help, and the response was overwhelming. Within hours, there was enough money to cover Hope's hospitalization and the anticipated cost of the surgery. But donations kept coming in past that number, including a $5,000 anonymous gift from a very generous sponsor. To this day, we don't know who it was. Now, heartbreakingly, Hope's injuries proved too great, and she passed away during surgery. But in honor of her memory, Kitten Rescue took the remaining funds and established the Hope Fund. That's a fund set aside specifically to help other cats and kittens in such dire medical need in the future. So because of Hope and the generosity that she inspired, many more lives have been saved. Here is a look at some of the cats that have been saved just this year, thanks to the Hope Fund.
Hi, everyone. Awesome. And I started working with Kitten Rescue years ago when I saw a orange white kitten fall to the sewer. I contacted Kitten Rescue and they not only got sewer stamp at the sewer, but they also got to amazing forever. So after that, I started volunteering for them. I learned about trap neuter routines. I've fostered all kinds of different cats in Kitten Rescue. And most of the time it's pretty straightforward. I get a cat and I kind of just have to give them room and board and interview the potential adopter and help them to live amazing lives. But that's the dream. It's not always the reality. There are a lot of extreme medical cases on the streets of LA. Cats that are born with birth defects, cats that are injured on the street and need life-saving surgeries, cats that are seniors that have chronic illnesses that have never been treated and need special care for the rest of their lives. The Hope Fund is 100% dedicated to these extreme medical cases. This is Jonah, a community cat living in the parking lot of a low-income housing facility. A resident noticed something very wrong with Jenna's face and reached out to Kitten Rescue. When we found her, things were looking pretty bad. She had a severe facial injury, completely tearing away the nostrils. Poor little Jenna was hungry, but unable to eat. Luckily, we were able to get her into one of our amazing partner pets for life-saving treatment. And now, thanks to the fund, after the surgery, she's even better than before. Because now she's safe in a foster home and can eat all the snacks she loves. This is Jessie. Jessie was rescued at our Clear the Shelter event for Giving Tuesday. She has a condition called entropion, where her eyelids are turned inward and the eyelashes constantly scrape against the cornea. And if left untreated, it can cause infection, permanent injury, and vision loss. But fortunately, entropion is correctable. And even though it's expensive, it was worth it to make sure Jessie can see what a bright future she has ahead of her. Christoph arrived at North Central Shelter with severe break in his front leg. And Christoph was suffering, alone, in pain, and scared. But they put out the call to rescues, and we stepped up. Thanks to the fund, we were able to get Christoph out of the shelter and into surgery. And now he's no longer, and we'll stand behind him as he gets back on his feet. Malachi was rescued from the South LA shelter, and it was soon determined he had a condition called pectin excavatum, where the breastbone is sunken into the chest. It's critical to treat as soon as possible because the malformation affects both the ability to breathe and to eat. But after a delicate surgery, he's recovering well. And we'll continue to monitor him as he gains strength and grows. And we know he's going to have a lot of love following him wherever he goes. Lonesome was found by a good Samaritan who noticed he'd been laying under a tree for 2 days. He was taken to the shelter where x-rays found he had a compound fracture of his right femur. So much time passed since the break that time was of the essence to make sure he would be able to heal properly. It was a complex surgery, but ultimately, this 3-year-old kitty now has a chance at a happy, healthy, and free life. This is Flower. She's the sweetest pet. Flower is actually my foster. I was walking about a month ago in my neighborhood and I found her in someone's front yard. She was completely unable to use her front right leg. And it was so hard seeing her like that out on the street alone trying to survive in that state. But luckily I was able to catch her and they did x-rays in the vet where they determined that somebody had shot her in the arm with a BB gun. So they had to perform a surgery there, which luckily just missed her growth plate. And she's fully on the road to recovery. The cast is now off, and she's going to live a totally normal life. Shelters just don't have the ability or the funding to care for animals in this much need. Kitten Rescue's Hope Fund allows us to help animals that just wouldn't have a chance anywhere else. But this is what we do. This is why we're here. please donate to them if you can, so that even more pets can go on really happy, healthy lives. Bye, flower. Bye.
It's so tough out there. It's just great to see some Hollywood type endings. And one of the cats that you just saw there featured in that video was the result of a reaching out that I did to kitten rescue. The kitten stuck in a glue trap, and I texted Kitten Rescue, and they answered the call. And Rumi is the name of the cat. Terrible shape, little tail was broken, probably from struggling to free himself from the glue trap. And at the last Pro Bowl, we featured Rumi's story, but he was still gaining weight and gaining strength and preparing for a surgery. I'm happy to report that Rumi made it through that surgery and grew up to be beautiful. It's very toxic. But that's all thanks to the Hope Fund. So kittens like Rumi get a second chance through the Hope Fund. Keep it in mind. We will probably now begin asking you for pledging some support. And to do that, it's a heavy lift. We bring the guardian of Waverly with Tiny Beans up here. She really knows how to get the crowd into donations. How about it for Evelyn Jensen?
So round of applause if you felt even a little bit of inspiration tonight. Yeah, me too. I do this. I do this. And then I come every year and I watch people and I'm just astounded. Matt, where are you? I have a girl crush. Girl to guy. Where are you? Okay, invite right there. He had to answer a call. What? Is there a cat in a tree? Lassie, did Timmy fall through the well? Oh my gosh. Stuff like that, we're always here to answer the call. And we can only do that because of generous people like our sponsors who we've already had a chance to applaud for the evening. So one more round of applause, please, for our sponsors making this possible. One more round of applause for our wonderful volunteers. And a round of applause for all of you who are just about to take out your phones and do this little thing called donating. Because we really can't do any of what we do if the dollars aren't there. It's just a fact of life. We work for free. We do this for free. But none of our service providers do this for free. They just can't. So please, please, please take a moment, consider what you've seen, consider what you've experienced, and please take a moment and just give what you can. I don't know if you know what you can do with the dollars that we do, what we do with the dollars that we do, but we're able to stretch a dollar so far. So please, any amount that you can give is helpful. So if we could just have on the screen, I think we've got some slides prepared, right? So if any of you here are feeling flush, won the lottery, or are a little more fortunate than some of us, $10,000 feeds our sanctuary cats for a full month. So if anybody's got the ability to donate $10,000, we would welcome it. I will generously give you a hug if you give us $10,000. So if anyone would like to stand up here and give $10,000, we would deeply, deeply appreciate it. If that's a little bit too much, maybe you're more interested in buying FIP medicine, or if you want to feed our sanctuary cats for a month, $2,500 we'll donate. We'll feed our sanctuary cats for an entire month. And if you've ever been to our sanctuary, you'll know that is a lot of cats. And we were only able to feed them for that little amount of feed because we also have generous partners who help us out. Like Off the Leash is here as well, with a lot of our food here. We are at 23,000 so far for the evening. Where we are, we're getting a hug from me.
Okay, 5,000 is good. 25,000 is not so good as well. But let's take a look at where we are. Right? Oh, where are we? 23,571. Did we get the $10,000 in? Sandra, please add the $10,000 so that our numbers look good. We would love to get to 100,000 tonight if we could, in small increments for those of you who are thinking smaller. Heather, thank you. Thank you, Heather. $1,000. Where's my partner? I love the partner. Wait, you're supposed to be like ripping with me up here.
I'll be honest with you, honest, I'm clear as to whether or not you seem to take, you know, you have that ability. And I didn't want to get in your way.
Oh no. Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you what, I will double back and acknowledge that $10,000 again. Right on.
So what we're really trying to do tonight is to make sure that at the other end of all of those calls that Officer Navarrete answers, that many of you, maybe you have reached out. I know that I get a few calls, at least a few calls a week, help. What we're trying to do is make sure that there's someone to answer and that we actually have a solution. So that Karina posts on our bottle baby, and I belong to the bottle baby group. I take in bottle babies from time to time. I'm not nearly as prolific as many people in this room. But it takes funds. It takes money to be able to say, yes, I will step up. There's formula, there's training, there's all kinds of different things and expenses that are involved in that. And if we're gonna make that Hollywood ending for all of those cats, just like any Hollywood movie, we need investors, we need funding, we need you. We need everybody here to give what you can. So please consider $6,500 anonymous. Okay. Every single person in this room, except for the two people who outbid me. But I don't know who you are, so I probably still love you anyway. How's the Book of Mormon going? You getting those? Steve and Fane, thank you so much. $200. $200 go up. Suzanne Phillips, thank you. Suzanne Phillips, raise your hand. Yes, love you.
There have been some pretty substantial donations along the way here. Yeah, it's tough to.
Yeah, anonymous.
Keep talking.
Keep talking. So, how many of you here? I know many of you. How many of you are
here? $1,000 anonymous donation.
Younger somewhere. How many of you applause? How many of you? This is your very first furball. Quite a few new people. Wonderful. So, since we have some new people, I'll tell a little bit of my story. I started with Kitten Rescue back in. I'm just studying with one man. That was awesome. I've never been aware of it. You're awesome. So, I started with Kitten Rescue back in 2011. So, I've been here for quite some time. And quite a few years into my tenure with Kitten Rescue, I decided to become what we call a bed holder, which essentially is when our vets recommend certain medications and certain over-the-counter things like fluids or dewormers or things. They come to us because there's no way we can do that at a vet's office. And so I got some training on how to administer meds and fluids and tube feeding and all kinds of things like that, like emergency interventions, which I thought I would be using to help other people's foster kittens when they came to me. Little did I know that training would save the life of one of my most favorite kitty in the whole wide world, Waverly McTiny Beans. Was over at that table if anyone wants to eat her. But when I was out walking one day, I saw at the corner where my mechanic lives, and he had a Doberman who was a guard dog, but didn't work out so well as a guard dog. But I saw him rooting around in some bushes.
And I knew he was not supposed to be on pretty, so I hollered at him. His name was Rover. Yes, it's true. I was like, Rover, what are you doing? Get out of the pretty. And he looked up and it's a big, like, big old Doberman beak, and he had something inside that I thought was trash. And I said, give me that, give me that. And he dropped a 4.5 ounce kitten into my hands. And I freaked out because this kitten was almost dead. I didn't have much hope for her. I happened to be quite close to home, and so I just rushed her home and started what I had learned. She was covered with fleas. She was too weak to eat. So I bathed her, got the fleas off of her, and I tube fed her, which, if any of you've done that, it's quite dramatic. You shove it down their throat to literally put food in her. And when I got her to the vet the next day, when I called Kitten Rescue and got her to the vet the next day, the vet said, no, there's no deep pain in her lower extremities, and we're not able to void her bladder. There's no way she'll survive. And so I walked out of the vet, stopping just to take a breather, and I called someone from Kitten Rescue, Esther, and you know her, and I was crying, and I said, I don't know what to do. And she said, what do you think? And I said, well, she made it this far. I really want to give her a shot. But if she can't void her bladder, I don't want to hold on. So I walked back in there ready to say, I guess we'll let her go because that's the option if you can't void the bladder. And the vet said, I was to void her bladder. What do you think? And I was like, we're saving her! We're saving her! We're saving her! And so I ran out of the office. I basically grabbed her and ran, and I called Esther, and I was like, I'm sorry, she's going to be expensive, but I couldn't leave her. And then they hooked me up with a wonderful, amazing person called Jenna Conrad, who you've been mentioned tonight. And she helped me with, she had no movement in her little paws, but she got me hooked up with all kinds of treatments and all kinds of stimulation. And one day we were doing acupuncture on her tiny little toes, and they spread like this. And it was, we knew that was it. And now she can walk. She's not like normal, but she can walk, she can jump on things, and she's the cutest damn thing you've ever seen in your life. So stories like that, that's my story. I've rescued more than 200 kittens have come through my home. I may or may not have more than 5 in my house, so I'll be joining that. But every single volunteer kitten rescue has a story like that. And all of them are possible because of donations, like this one, like that one. 82,000! 82,000! We can do this. We can get to 100,000. We just need $25 from everyone here. Gave like $25. I actually don't know if that math works or not. Let's try. Let's try. If everybody just gives $25, let's see what happens. Can everybody just take out just $25? $25. I get a lunch. Wait, who did you say you could, Officer Nabs, I'll take you out of lunch. I'll take English. Let's go. All right, $25. Look it up there. 88. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. Just a few more. $100. Thank you, Neil Brian. Just keep it coming. Keep it coming. Mark, you got anything you want to add?
Because your story, I never heard it or didn't remember the tube feeding part. I'll give $1,000. I don't have any money, so I need to borrow from Jenny and Jim. No, I have it. We'll cover it. That's really, that story is so powerful, and you're a dedicated companion.
90,000. Here's Waverly next time you gave to There she is. I mean, come on, that's worth $25, right? $25.
She looks panicked.
She's richer on the chin.
She looks panicked, but Evelyn uses her as a prop all the time. Don't feel bad. It's like a Hollywood cat.
She gets lots of treats. She gets lots of treats. She gets paid. Girls. All right. All right, we're at $90,000, so we're gonna go ahead and close this portion. Please keep it coming. Please keep bidding.
unless you're bidding on what I'm bidding, stop bidding. But please keep bidding. Pam, when does the auction close? Or was it, did I miss it? I always miss the end. The auction's open till
4 minutes.
what's that?
It's 9:41. 40.
Sometimes when I say this, you understand that? This is like 3 minutes thing.
So three more minutes. You can either keep bidding. Okay, for those of you who lost the auction, condolences. But that's some money that now can go to Kid Rescue. You bid. Right? So that's what I'm doing. My $2 that I'm gonna be popping in there because I got a bid on a beautiful painting. I hope you enjoyed black cat with yarn. It's adorable. Please, I bring what I was going to bid on that into. All right, so 95,000. Thank you, Evelyn Ray, $101. We're gonna say thank you. Please keep it coming. If we get to 100, wonderful. I'll be super happy. Otherwise, thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Please drive safe home and thank you for the support you're getting ready to
And regularly Canadians, thank you all for your generosity and your continued support year round. Thank you so much. And good night.
There's lemons.
Hold on. They can't see the screen. Is the problem.
That's right.